Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 89, and the final update to be shot here in the old warehouse 1.0, whatever you want to call it. So let's kick things off with week in review. This is where we talk about what's been going on, things that are coming up, stuff like that. First up, earlier in the week, we ran a little bit of a promotion. One of the biggest problems we're having with the move right now, or that we kind of anticipate having with the move, is basically by the time you see this video, the website's in a maintenance mode, everything's turned off, and so we won't be able to make any sales. We won't be able to ship any orders until we're done with the move. Problem is some of our bills don't stop. We still got payroll because we're paying people to help with the move, obviously. We've got rental vehicles to, the trucks we got to rent. We got just outlaid a whole bunch of cash on new shelves for the new warehouse, things like that. We've got a lot of those expenses, and we've got basically a backlog of stuff piling up at our suppliers, especially BNTCA or Bandai, waiting to ship. And that pile's getting larger. When we tell them we're good to go to ship it, they're going to try to ship it all at once, and that's going to be a huge drop of cash all at once. And where we're not bringing in cash over the next week, we kind of got this like chicken and egg problem of trying to get enough cash in the door to be able to safely tell them to go ahead and get that moving and keep everything flowing. And we couldn't ship anything extra this week, so we did a promotion where people who purchased a gift card, if it was over $100, if it was $100, for every $100 they got a 5% discount code, single-use discount code to be able to use after the move. For every $200, a 10% discount code they could use after the move. And anybody who helped us out with that, we did raise a bunch of cash. We still kind of need more, and I'm trying to figure out how to make everything work out to be able to release that next huge shipment that we'll get, which will probably be the largest shipment we've ever received when it finally goes. But it's been a huge help, all of you that have contributed by buying a gift card. Really appreciate it. And if I don't get a chance to send you a note directly because of how busy I am this week, just know that I really appreciate it. And I thank you and all of our customers and community for the support, because it's we wouldn't be here without you. And it's definitely good to know that we've got people in our corner backing us up as we move forward. Next up, so last week we had some interesting kind of snafu with the shelves that ended up working out. Basically, I ordered the next set of the new shelves we need for the new warehouse. Based on some like communications issues with the supplier, I didn't think they were going to arrive on time to be able to put them together last weekend. And long story short, they did arrive. Ended up having to run up to the new warehouse to receive them, and we did get them in. We got them all set up. You might have saw some pictures on our stories and things like that. So some shelves are set up, some of our carts and other things are prepped and ready in the new warehouse, and that's all good to go. Also went up on Wednesday to receive our first shipment of kits to the new warehouse. We received 5 pallets. That loading dock coming in handy there. That was another interesting one where we had them redirected from a delivery to this warehouse to that warehouse, knowing we wouldn't receive them in time to do a check-in to go for restock. So we had them rerouted to the new warehouse, and they didn't confirm with me what time or anything like that. And when I finally got word out of them when they were going to arrive, I basically had to turn around and just shoot up immediately to be there in time, and they still got there before I did, I think. But we received the first kits there, so that's cool. Got the internet set up yesterday. That was fun as well. Same day that we were there receiving the kits. Especially fun when I got a call from Patrick that the internet went down here right around the moment that they turned on the internet there, so we had to work that out. All sorts of fun little moving snafus and all that kind of stuff. Moving forward, though, the big one is that Friday, tomorrow, or basically today, the day that you're watching this, if you're watching it when it comes out, we are starting the move. We put out a video earlier in the week with kind of the details on how we're moving and the plan for that, so I won't bore you with all the details here. If you want to know the game plan, you can check out that other video. But we are starting tomorrow. Website went down Thursday around noontime. At least that's the plan. And yeah, this weekend we're moving and hopefully setting back up, and hopefully within about a week we'll be back up and online. Keep an eye on our social media pages. We'll send out an email when we're close or when we know what's going on with the reopen. We got a lot of good stuff that should hopefully be available when we do reopen. We get that first big restock. So that's it for week in review. Moving on, Nick's tips. Tip this week is going to be about finding time for Gunpla, because that's definitely an issue a lot of people have. It's an issue I have, and just give you a few ideas that help you maybe make more time for Gunpla if you've got trouble doing that. So I think first and foremost, in trying to make time for anything, it's ultimately how much you want to do it. If you really want to find time for something, there's almost always a way to find time. And I say that as being, one of the busiest people I know. I think a lot of people will agree. I've got a lot of different things going on. Got the kids, got the dojo, got jiu-jitsu, got the business. And by right, I shouldn't be able to do all those things. So ultimately, it comes down to just being able to make the time and prioritize what you want to do. But my biggest tips would be that for me, the easiest way is to find dedicated time that you have to do it. And that might be, for me, it's doing the stream every week. That guarantees that, for the business, I have to do it. You might not be in a place where you have to do it for a business reason or for any other particular reason. But if you set out that dedicated time every week, block it off and try to make it a priority enough that it's not something that you can just knock aside whenever you don't feel like doing it or when something else comes up. That can help a lot. B, if you can find a way to build it into another activity or make it an activity that takes over for something that you would otherwise do. So for example, the other times that I get time to spend it, we've dedicated some time each weekend for hobby time. And that's kind of a time that we all get together in the household. I get to spend time with my kids. We're all up in the room together. We've got kind of a room with a few tables that we get to hang out in. And that allows us to, it's family time that allows me to do with Gunpla. So if you're married, or maybe if you have a spouse, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, if you get together and use that as some sort of together time, now you get to do your Gunpla and you get to spend time with someone you care about, and you can kind of double use that purpose, or you know what I mean. And then C, the final one is if you can overlap it with something else that you would do anyway. So maybe you watch a bunch of TV, maybe you watch TV that you don't need to be fully focused on what's going on the TV. If you watch news or something else that there's sporadic action or something, a lot of people build while they watch stuff. So if you're already spending time watching TV and it's not something that you need to be fully engaged in, that can be a good way to kind of make some time to do it, call up another time. It's not the best time to do airbrushing or anything that might be loud or require your full attention, but snapping together kits can certainly be done while doing something else. All right, so that's it for Nick's tips. No pre-orders or restocks this week because of the move, so we'll move right on to Q&A. So only got questions from one individual this week. Thank you, Plastic Germs, for providing the questions for like 7 other people. So I'll try to get to all these questions here. They seem to have kind of a theme to them. First one is, what is your opinion on GBWC? So if you're not familiar, GBWC is the Gundam Builders World Cup. It's the big contest Bandai puts on every year, and it's kind of a build contest. They basically do contests in each country, take a representative from each country for the final World Cup in Japan. I think they're doing it online only this year. Historically, it's been an in-person event, I believe. And so my opinion is that it's a really interesting contest. It's got some different aspects to it that we'll probably touch on answering some of your other questions that you have here. But it's definitely interesting. There's been some cool stuff to come out of it. I don't know if it necessarily carries all the way to the world, though. So number 2, what do you think USA is lacking to take home the gold or place top 3? That's a good question there. I haven't followed GBWC super closely, so I can't say that I just know the answer to this off the top of my head. Tim Harkins, aka Child of Mecca, I think is the real person asked that question to, because I think he's represented the U.S. a couple times, and I think I've seen him post or talk about, I think his most recent time being there in Japan, kind of starting to get an idea of what it would take. I think fundamentally because it's not purely a quality of the build kind of contest, that your theme and what you make, your creativity and that kind of stuff plays in a large part of it. Kind of knowing what the Japanese judges need to see in order to give you high marks is probably the biggest thing. So just having an idea for what they have favored in the past and which things have won in the past might give you some ideas as to what your build would need to be, what your theme would have to be in order to do well. Question 3, what do you have to say to those who think GBWC is not a real modelers competition? And I'd say kind of I would agree. In fact, most online contests that most of these build contests that go around aren't really fully model contests, really. IPMS, International Plastic Modeler Society, those IPMS events, the models are scored and ranked and are based entirely on how good the model is. That's the priority. A lot of these contests really care about how you fit into whatever theme they're doing, your creativity, things like that. And it's still related, but I can totally see how somebody would say that that's not a real modelers competition. Number 4, which coast in the U.S. has the best model builders, and when are we going to have the East Coast, West Coast battle competition? I don't know when we'll see an East Coast, West Coast. That would be kind of interesting, and I don't really know. I've seen a bunch of East Coast builds in person from going down to like ODO and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen a lot of the West Coast builds in person, so I'm going to hold off on declaring any sort of judgment on that until I've seen some in person, maybe later this year when I get out to hopefully SCGMC. Number 5, what would your GBWC build look like? I have no idea. I would really probably spend a lot of time scrutinizing past winners to figure out which kinds of things the judges are looking for if I really wanted to be competitive about it. Number 6, when is the next Mecca Warehouse contest? So our next contest will probably be sometime this fall, hopefully earlier fall than last year. I think last time it fell too close to like Thanksgiving and Black Friday for the end, so hopefully earlier than that. So that'll be the next big online contest. We're going to do open house hopefully after the move, and we might do some sort of in-person IPMS style type event in person at the warehouse in the near future. I still have to figure out the details on that. But that gives you kind of an idea. And then finally, fun question, which trilogy is better, OG Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? I think I'd have to go with Star Wars personally, but that might be because the last time, or the only time I try to actually watch the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I fell asleep, so that might count for something. That said, though, I think I tried to watch it after being up all night at some sort of all-night party in high school, so that might have weighed in. So maybe I need to go back and watch Lord of the Rings again. And I think that's it for questions. If you've got a question you want answered next week, post it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to try to answer it. And I think that's all. So see you in the new warehouse. Thank you for watching.